Live from Los Angeles. Welcome back to Good Morning LaLa. And we are starting this segment off with laughs because Barry Brewer is in the house.
Hey.
Hey.
How you doing?
What's up, man?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey.
How you doing?
How you doing? So you have this innate ability to make heavy conversations and social issues funny.
Thank you.
Right?
Yes.
What is your secret in that?
There's no secret, actually. It's just being myself and how I see the world and what I guess God has blessed me with to do and how I see it and present it and people laugh. So that's the result of it. So it's no secret. It's just truthfully being myself.
The gift of funny, though, is a blessing.
But I think it's good to lighten it with some humor. But you're also quite evolved in your consciousness when you're talking about stuff, right? So like, how do you what's your take on we're not politics shows,
right. Like taking something serious,
dealing with something like heavy stuff for people. How do you deal with stress? How do you deal with it?
Well, you know what I've learned as I've gotten older. I'm from the South Side of Chicago, and it's a lot. My boy Carl. Actually, I casted Carl in my first short film that I did.
Oh, really? Wow.
2004. So that's just it's ironic.
Yeah, it is.
Same show. Basically, just taking something that's serious and the things that you still look at, and there's funny things everywhere. Even sometimes people don't want to talk about it. So just presenting it in a respectful way. You know what I mean? Like I'm still respecting of this thing, but this is what's funny about it. You know, and it's different topics that I talk about. My stand-up special, I talk about homosexuality and how I used to be homophobic, and I talk about my ignorance because of where I'm from. You know, and what I didn't know about it, and I thought all gay people was this type of way. And then I went on a gay date, but I didn't know this guy was gay because he wasn't flamboyant, he wasn't, and so it's this whole funny story that happened because of my ignorance. So it's like, it's funny because it's true and it's real.
But don't you think we should be able to talk? We should be able to laugh.
We should be able to talk about it.
People are so afraid in today's world to talk about anything. It's like, we're human beings. We might have judgments, and then we come from those judgments, and we got to be able to laugh about it, talk about it, and it's ridiculous. No one can say anything.
No, we should be serious all the time. Not having fun.
Let me tell you a story from that. From me doing that joke at a college. I tour colleges and clubs, but this college, this guy came up to me. I think he's from Africa, and he had a certain perspective on homosexuality. He said because of my joke, it opened his heart, it opened his mind to not judge and be a certain way. You know what I mean? And so it just really showed me like, wow, and I mean, when I'm writing, the joke, it's really happened. So it's just a funny story, but it's a blessing when your jokes can change someone's perspective on a subject that sometimes people just misunderstand because they're not knowing of it. And that's really what I think happens often. So you're not familiar with something. You kind of like, you know what I mean?
I love that. One of my favorite ways to see enlightenment is that it's actually lightening up. That's a huge part of enlightenment, is actually lightening up around things, right? Exactly. When did you discover that you had this ability to be funny and to help people lighten up about very serious issues?
The serious issues, that came later.
Oh, the funny came first.
The funny came first, and then the more consciousness came later as I got older. I started stand-up when I was 19, and from Chicago, I started young, so it's just about making people laugh at this point. I just want to win.
Doesn't matter how.
I always mattered. I didn't want to offend nobody, but I always because I came from church. I started doing stand up in church.
Wow.
Right, which
that's it's going to be a very
unique. That could be a hard sell.
Yes, a little tough crowd.
So trying there, and then move into the club. This clean young dude trying to be funny in these very raunchy clubs and little bars around South Side of Chicago. And then, once I got older and started to have kids and the family, and life seems to be, you have to find substance. And you're like, okay, I want to say something too. I don't just want to be funny. And so that's when I felt like I got there. That's when I did my stand-up special last year. I felt like I have something to say. It's not just about funny.
But so what is your message? George Carlin, some of the greatest preachers ever were comedians, honestly. But so we know also that being a comedian, that a lot of times it's hard because you got to always be on point, always funny. And a lot of comedians deal with kind of a dark side because they're like, I don't I don't want to be funny today. Like, how do you deal with that?
I just don't be funny.
Just accept not being funny that day, huh? Yeah.
I hear a lot of people that see me in person, like my wife and everybody, like, are you? Is he funny all the time? They be like, no. My kid's like, no. Like, he's more serious. Because when it becomes your job, you know, it's just like a break from it. You know what I mean? It's a break from it. Like, you ain't interviewing people every day.
No.
You know, let me see how you're doing. Like, no.
So what's next for you?
It's true. What's next? I'm very excited. My stand-up special comes out February 19th, which I'm very excited about. I've been doing this thing for 16 years.
Oof, yes.
And very happy. I keep talking about Carl because it's just such a blessing when you've been trying something for so long and you start to see the light. And it's just such a blessing to say, oh my God, it wasn't all in vain.
Oof.
Thank you, God.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I was in
no doubt.
So my stand-up special comes out everywhere. February 19th, that's what's coming up. And I'm on a new show on BT, executive produced by Tracy Edmonds, starring Lauren London, Karen Oldbloom, and it's another lady. She's from My Wife and Kids with the show with Damon Wayans, and myself, and Jackie Long, and a whole bunch of other people. But I'm very excited about that, so that comes out 2019.
Real quick question. When do you remember hitting a tipping point where you're like, oh, this is the career, this, you know, life that I'm pursuing is actually going to work out? Was there a tipping point where you just knew?
I always knew from the jump.
Oh, you did?
Yes, called faith.
Yeah.
Yes, I knew, like I believed, and it was just little things like when I would do it, like I would have older people that's been in the game of stand-up and acting was just like, yeah, man, you got something special.
Yeah.
And those were the moments that reminded me. I remember when I first started and I went to this comedy club, a comedian named BLT. He's like, man, your stage presence. And it was those moments that even though things didn't happen, I remember those people and those people telling me, and my mom be like, oh, you gonna always, my mom
tells you that, yeah.
Wait till they see you, you gonna blow up. All right today, you gonna blow up. Look at you. I was like, what Denzel? Like, he ain't gonna have nothing on you. So my mom always tell me. So,
Thank God for moms. Thank God for moms.
Where can people find you and follow your
everywhere,
humor?
social media, Instagram, Barry Brewer Jr., Barry with an A. My website is barrybrewercomedy.com. Barry Brewer, pretty much anywhere. Facebook, YouTube, Google me.
He's brewing up some laughs, so
Yeah,
follow
that's right.
him. And
Thank you, brother.
No, thank you, man.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.